Hey, it's Joe. Got another question here from Ben Assad from Atlanta, Georgia. Dear Joe, not too long ago, you sent an email out selling junk houses in depressed areas for $4,000 or $5,000 a piece. The areas are horrible, the pictures of the houses are frightening, and I can't figure out how they'd make sense for me to buy. Can you tell me how I'm supposed to make money on these kinds of houses? I sure don't want to work in these areas or even go to them for that matter. Does this kind of deal make sense? Well, not too long ago, like you said, I sent out these emails selling these properties. I had some properties that were $4,000 or $5,000 a piece. They were in Detroit, Michigan. They were in Cleveland, Ohio. You know, pretty tough areas in these areas. I also had pictures of those properties that I put up on the website, and they were in terrible condition. These houses have been completely gutted. They have no furnace. They've got, most of them anyway, they have no furnace, no water heater, no plumbing. All the copper has been ripped out of the house. Some of them didn't have windows in them. They were absolute messes. I got them cheaply. My goal was to sell them for $5,000 and just make a $1,000 or so on each deal, and get them to an investor and let them take it to the next step. And I gave them some ideas, some exit strategies on things they could do to sell them. And but to my surprise, maybe I shouldn't have been surprised, but nobody took me up on the offer. I had one guy who was interested, and then he backed out on the deal once he went over to the property and actually took a look at it. Even though the pictures were there, the pictures were bad too. Anyway, I didn't sell any properties, and I thought, I've got 60,000 investors on my list, and nobody wants this. There's a reason. Either it's not a good deal, like I thought it was, because I think they're good deals, or people didn't understand what they could do with them, and they're afraid of the area. They're nervous about the process, and they don't want to sell it. Because I knew there's plenty of people on my list that have $5,000 they could easily come up with if they thought it was going to make them money. So what I decided to do instead is to sell them myself. I had somebody go out there, because this is in Detroit and I'm in Indianapolis. I had somebody drive around to the houses, put lock boxes on all the doors that actually had doors, and they also nailed a sign, and I don't usually nail signs to my houses, but these, I wanted them to stay up, so we actually had them nail Coroplast signs on there that said $1,000 down, $250 a month, and my phone number and my website. And we put it on all these houses, and I bought a whole bunch of these houses. I bought them in bulk from an REO thing, so I had a bunch of them. I just paid cash for them. Which is not something that I normally do, but eventually you're going to make enough money where you're going to have cash, and you're going to want to do something with that cash, and you're not going to want to put it in the stock market. You're just going to lose money there, so you want to put it into real estate, because that's, if you learn this business, that's what that's how you have control over your money and your business, and you'll make a lot more money that way. Anyway, so I bought these properties, couldn't sell them to my list, after just one email. I suppose if I changed things around, I might have convinced people to do it. But then I put these signs on or had these signs put up for me, and suddenly the phone just starts ringing and ringing, and it won't stop, and I'm going, oh my, this is going to take a lot longer than I thought it was going to. And we immediately started selling these properties. And the way I structured it, I sold them for $20,000 a piece, with $1,000 down, $250 a month, which is about 8% interest over a 10-year period amortized. So they pay for 10 years, $250 a month plus the $1,000 up front to buy this property from me on a land contract. Now, they're responsible for the taxes and taking care of the properties. And I also created this long disclosure to explain to them that this property was in terrible condition. When people called me, I'd tell them exactly what I just told you about the property. These things are horrible. They're in awful, awful, awful condition. They don't have any of the functions of the house. If you're buying it as is. I'm not going to be responsible for anything on these properties. So just be aware of that going in. It was in my documents that they had to sign when they signed it. They all knew it going in, but they all felt that to have their own house, to be able to get into a house for $1,000 and $250 a month, even in a tough neighborhood where rent, by the way, is $600, $700 a month for a house like this, or actually I've seen them even $900 to $1,000. Even in these tough neighborhoods, these rents go pretty high. And they're very excited about getting these houses. I can't tell you how excited these buyers have gotten on these properties. Now, if you look at the houses and what they've been assessed for, they've been assessed for $40,000 or $50,000 in good condition. So when they fix these properties up, they're probably going to be worth $40,000 or $50,000. So that's a great deal for them. It's a good deal for me because I'm making 5 times as much as I'd made if I'd sold them to my list. So I'm making great money on them. Plus, I'm getting the money over time. So I'm going to build sort of an annuity. It's also being sold outside my Roth IRA, so it's non-taxable. I don't have to pay taxes on any of those, on any of that income that's coming in, which is cool. And it's working out very well. So the next thing that I decided to do, selling these properties, and by the way, I still have some to sell, and if you are interested in buying some of these properties, send me an email and I'll send you the link to the website that will get you, that you can see what I've got available right now, although they seem to sell pretty quickly. We keep replenishing them. Anyway, the next thing that I started buying was properties in Indianapolis and in Detroit that we could buy, and we were starting to fix them up and renting them out Section 8. So bought a property very cheaply and was able to get, for around $20,000, maybe a little less, a little more. We've been buying several of them. And then those will rent out for $900 a month to Section 8. And so we have to put maybe $5,000 into them to fix them up, and we do that, and we fill them, and we have this income that pays off the property in just a couple of years. You could do the same thing in almost any community. We were buying these from the MLS. These are not difficult to find. You have to act quickly, and you have to know what to do, and you have to have some people you can trust to do the work. I don't do any of the work myself. I don't manage the properties. I don't find tenants to put into them. I don't want to be a Section 8 manager. These happen to be in Indianapolis, so I suppose I could do them if I wanted to, but I don't want to. I've got good, competent people to do that for me, and if you bought one of my properties from me, because we'll sell them for more than that, but if you bought one of my properties from me, we'd give you that person to work with. So anyway, exciting stuff. It's new stuff that we're doing. It does require some cash, but it's good long-term investment stuff. Even though they're completely trash, you don't have to do the work to them. If you do the work to them, you can make money as well. The return on the investment on these properties is amazing. If you put it into a retirement account, it's even better. So exciting stuff. These are exciting times right now to make a lot of money in real estate. You just got to take advantage of the opportunities that are out there. All right. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.